If there's an MVP watch table, Asia's at the head of it. You've got Paige, you've got Caitlyn, got Alicia Gray sitting there. Maybe Stewie can be sitting there too. She deserves it. And then you've got, like, waiting in line, like, at the door to, like, come in. You've got Olivia Miles sitting there.
That I make you drop a dime for, because my rhyme's cleaner than a three-piece of time for. And now it is time for me to be back on my bully. I'm back on the track.
Welcome into episode 6 of Splash, and we have a great one for you today. Olivia Miles thinks that she can continue to go crazy like it's not the WNBA and it's still college. The Fever finally get back on track, and much more, and we're going to discuss it all here coming up right now. And let's get into it real quick. No breaks, no need to anything other than, guys, just make sure you hit that subscribe button so every time we upload, you've got that. But let's get into this. Kelsey Mitchell in the Indiana Fever bounce back from what has been an eventful and a highly publicized last few days for them. Not in the Kelsey Mitchell standpoint. We obviously know what I'm alluding to at the moment, but let's talk Kelsey Mitchell just for a second. 5,000 career points for her. Congratulations on that. I believe the 4th fastest guard ever to get to 5,000. She was a bucket. What people don't know about Kelsey is that actually she is a top 5 scorer all time in collegiate basketball. She was a bucket then. She is a bucket now. She is the best one-on-one player in the league because of the speed, the quickness, the ability to get to the left hand whenever she wants to, even when people are like, we don't want you using your left hand. She's like, I don't care. I'm going to get there anyway. So Kelsey Mitchell, congratulations on the 5,000 points. Leah Boston, after game, said it best. She was talking. She was like, yeah, she's been such a great role model coming in here every single day, regardless, even before I got here, before Caitlyn got here. Didn't matter how the team was. She came in here like a professional every single day, paraphrasing a bit. But Leah Boston's all right. Kelsey Mitchell, such a great game. And she was 11 of 15 from the floor at one point for 25. I believe she ended around that too, 73.3%, made 3 threes. She got super hot in the third quarter. Caitlyn 17, 8, and 7, and then Aaliyah Boston 19 with 7 rebounds and 3 blocks on the game. Overall, the Indiana Fever played a very high-level game. That third quarter, they really got out and they got running. Caitlyn was getting out on the break. Then Kelsey was getting out in transition. Aaliyah Boston was getting down in the post. This is also in the second quarter, too. They had a few stints. But these are the times when the Fever are getting out in transition. They're running. That's when their defense becomes more energized. And when their defense becomes more energized, they can force turnovers, and then they can utilize their speed, athleticism, and quickness. That is when this team becomes extremely scary. 48% from the field, 44% from 3, 80 from the free throw line. It was a slow start for both teams in this game. The Dream never were able to get it going. Alicia Gray kind of got it going a little early in the third. Ryan Howard hit a 3 in the fourth, which was like one of her first points. But overall, this team really couldn't get it going. The Fever were able to get it going. One thing that the Fever are going to have to clean up are the turnovers. 16 assists to 15 turnovers is not going to cut it for them. That's something that they're going to have to improve upon. But when you're forcing the other team to be only 1 for 1 on the assist to turnover ratio, 14 assists to 14 turnovers, you'll be able to get that going there and be comfortable with that. On the game, you had Aaliyah Boston with 19 and 7, as I said. Kelsey Mitchell 11 of 15, 25, and then Caitlyn 17, 8 and 7. But Raven Johnson off the bench, she had 5 points in 23 minutes. She plays high-level defense. When she came in, she had a nice loose ball grab. She had an offensive rebound. They kick out for a 3, 2 steals on the day. What a big pickup to get Raven Johnson. And obviously we know the Raven Johnson, Caitlin Clark, when she's swatting the hands, like, oh, who cares if she shoots or not. Those are the type of things that made Raven better. Honestly, she became a better shooter because of it. And now she is built perfectly to play alongside of Caitlyn. If you have a player like Caitlyn, obviously very good shooter, very good passer, heliocentric offense, but an offensive juggernaut, and defensively, we obviously know the limitations there. We don't need to relitigate all of that. Those have been the conversations over the last week. But what would you want around her? A high-level versatile big. you would want a guard that has all the ball handling capabilities and the ability to take pressure off of her. Then you'd want to get athletic bigs and then long shooting wings. And that's essentially what the Fever have. They built a perfect roster around her, and Raven Johnson drafting her was just an addition to that. That was really good. And on the other side, the Atlanta Dream, they don't have the depth right now. When Bree Jones comes back, that will definitely help them out. But right now, they don't have too much depth. So if their starting five isn't playing high level, then right now it's hard for this team to win. The thing about their starting five is they're so good that every game they can play high level, which is why this team has been one of the best in the league. But someone who could unlock this team a little bit is Medina Okot. She's just so big, strong, and when she understands that, wait, I can actually kind of dominate physically in this league, and I need to call for the ball more, and I need to be more of a presence. When they fully embrace that, and when she fully embraces that, I think that she could just be an X factor for this. And I think also Bree Jones being on the bench, someone who else is bigger, stronger, can help that out, and so she can grow from there. But overall, the Atlanta Dream didn't have one of their best nights. They didn't shoot well from the floor. None of them did. Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard combining from 2 of 9 from 3 is not going to get it done for you on most nights. So the Fever played well defensively, forced them into some tough shots, forced them into some tough possessions. They responded the way that they should respond, the way that playoff contenders should respond after being tested with a little bit of social and internal adversity. But speaking of responding, I don't know what she was responding to, but just like responding every game, Olivia Miles in the Minnesota Lynx win a nail-biter against the Golden State Valkyries. This also is going to be the Olivia Miles show for about the next 10-ish minutes. I do want to mention, though, on the side real quick, we'll talk about these guys a little bit too. The Valkyries keep games close. They play tough. They play hard. They have more offensive firepower this year than they did have last year. Gabby Williams helps out with that. Veronica Burton taking another step helps with that. Yosete, hopefully, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, their rookie from last year that they drafted 5th overall. Very good shooter. Hopefully she can find her way, and that's what this team has a lot of. But let's talk about Olivia Miles. I mean, 8 threes, breaking records, 28 points, 7 assists, doing big things, the most passing Caitlin Clark and Crystal Robinson, who both had it. Crystal Robinson had it in a 1999 game where she went 7 of 14. Caitlin had it obviously in her rookie year where she went 7 of 13, and Olivia Miles only went 8 of 11. So if she takes another 3 threes, she might have 10 plus. So Olivia Miles doing big things. And the thing about this game is if you watched it, nothing was forced. It was in the flow of the offense. She still was a point guard. And the thing about it is Cheryl Reeves is trying to push her and been talking about, like, hey, you're a shooter. You can go do that. You can go. We understood that she was a good shooter. She was talking about this post game in the interview, and it led into this quote here. The one she saw a couple go down, then it felt like she was playing Baylor again, I guess. It was not on our bingo cards, to be honest, but we'll take it. And that's a Cheryl Reeves response. That's hey, she's going to go out there. She's going to do her thing. We weren't planning on it, but hey, we are happy to have it. And Olivia Miles, they're happy to have Olivia Miles. I'm sure they would have been happy with AZ too at the 2, but I know with the way Courtney Williams can play off her, they're happy with Olivia Miles. Overall, though, this game was close. 40% from the floor to 39. You know the Valkyries are going to play well defensively, which is what makes this all more impressive. This isn't like it came against one of the bottom teams that's not great defensively. The Valkyries are one of the best defensive teams in the league. They were last year, and they've carried that into this year. And Olivia Miles is still getting whatever she wanted to in this game. 50% from 3 for the Lynx to 38% for the Valkyries. Obviously, they went 100% from the line. The Valkyries 10 of 10, 84 for the Lynx. Rebounding edge there. The offensive rebounds was making it a little bit difficult. Late game, the Minnesota Lynx 14 to only the Valkyries 9. But overall in this game, what kept the Valkyries in it was a lack of turnovers. They did not turn the ball over well, and they were able to maximize each possession. And though they weren't getting a bunch of shots up at the basket always, they were still not turning the ball over and getting the most out of what they could get on possession. So that's what made this game close. Natasha Howard played solid. She's been playing well all year. Courtney Williams played pretty well. Kayla McBride played pretty well. And then it was really just the Olivia Miles show. There's not much else to say. Nia Coffey played well defensively, but offensively, she didn't have it. And on the other side, Salon off the bench, Hayes off the bench, both of them played well. Burton did not shoot the greatest. Gabby did not shoot well at all. Kayla Thornton did not shoot well at all. Xanda Lassini actually was playing well for them down the stretch, and that's what also helped them keep this game close. But overall, the Minnesota Lynx get the W, 87-84. And let's just talk about this person here for a second. Olivia Miles, what a day, what a game, and what a rookie season we have so far from Olivia Miles. I mean, she has been quite amazing. I'm shocked that she has been able to adjust to the WNBA this quickly. I am not shocked, though, that she is playing at this level. Let's just go look at the numbers. I've showed her before in this exact graphic, and everything has gone up to be better. 17 points, 4.9 rebounds, 6.4 assists, which is 7th in the WNBA, 1.5 steals, almost a block a game, only 3 turnovers a game with someone who handles the ball that much, better than a 2-to-1 ratio. You'll take that from any guard. It's 50% from the floor. That was 20% last time from 3 and knew that was going to go up, but now that's up to almost 35%. Those free throws went from 94 to 91, so that dipped a hair, but 91+% from the free throw line. So she's capitalizing every time she goes there. That is 6th in the WNBA. And out of guards right now, out of every guard that's been playing basketball in the W this year, she is 13th in points. She is 5th in rebounds. She is 6th in assists. She's 8th in turnovers. And for anybody who's taken at least 6 shots, she is 8th in field goal percentage. She is legitimately, and I mean this on, like, if there's an MVP watch table, Asia's at the head of it. You've got Paige, you've got Caitlin, got Alicia Gray sitting there. Maybe Stewie can be sitting there too. She deserves it. And then you've got, like, waiting in line, like, at the door to, like, come in. You've got Olivia Miles sitting there. Because no one thought the Minnesota Lynx were going to be the best team in the league. But that's what they've been up to this point. Playing true competition, been the best team in the league. And Olivia Miles has been the main reason for that. Courtney's played great. Natasha's played great. Kayla's played great. Nia's played great. Off the bench, Caldwell has done well. They've been coached very well. We know that, of course. But without Nafisa, if I would have told you the Lynx were going to be the best team to start the season, you would have been like, there's no way. And there is a way, because it's happening now. And the way is because Olivia Miles. And when Nafisa comes back, this thing's only going to get more and more dangerous for the league. The thing about Olivia Miles playing this well and the Lynx playing this well is, even if you don't want to ever waste a season in the W, because you don't know what's going to happen. So if they were starting off bad, you'd be like, man, when's Nafisa coming back? When is Nafisa coming back? How quick can we get the time? Now it's like, okay, Nafisa, take your time. When you come back, we want you at 200%. We don't need you. We need you perfect when you come back, because we don't need, the awards are not going to matter for you this year, but what will matter for you is a championship. And that's the one thing that you don't have in your career. Obviously, MVP, you're not having reached that pinnacle yet, but you've been around there. There's so much more time for her. But this year, they legitimately can get a ring because of the addition of Olivia Miles. So the fact of how well she is playing has made everything in Minnesota go, and everything going to continue as it is. But let's get into a few of these other games that happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. I recorded Tuesday morning. I recorded 2 things Tuesday morning. You saw the Caitlin thing on Wednesday. You saw the original show on Tuesday. On Tuesday, Power Rankings came out, or the Echelon, I should say. But we've got a few games here, and honestly, it wasn't anything noteworthy other than the fact that they're cup games. But there wasn't anything too special from all of these games other than Atlanta. Ryan Howard did have 36 because she was cooking from three. She was 8 and 19. Reese had 12, 13 and 5. Alicia Gray had 26. So you had your big three there really going nuts. Jordan Canada had 10 assists. So that was in that game. In that win, there was in the Mystics game, there was no Sonia Citron. That was no problem. You had Shakira Austin, who had 17. You had Kiki Iriafin, who had a double-double of 15 and 11. Lauren Betts off the bench had 8. Cody McMahon, who started for them, she had 8 as well. Chicago wasn't able to get too much rolling offensively. They played fine, but overall, the Mystics just showed that they're a little bit better of a team right now. That Valkyries game was solid, but a blowout. It ended up becoming an 18-point victory. Overall, the Valkyries just had a lot of people contribute. Thornton had 19, 5-3. Salon off the bench had 18. Burton had 10. Gabby had 8. And on the other side, Megan Gustafson had 13. Engsler had 12. Carlton 11. Carla Late 10. And other than that, they had O'Block off the bench with 11. Overall, they just couldn't do anything with the Valkyries. They just showed they're a better team. Vegas versus Sparks. No Kelsey Plum allowed for Asia to kind of revenge the loss that they had, but there was no one really combating her at that level. Ray Burrell did have 22 in the game, 8 of 14 from the floor. She was someone who I thought could be most improved this year because I like the athleticism. I like the spacing. She has the ability to shoot. She can play some defense. So someone who the more and more she gets to play, the more opportunities that the Sparks give her, I think that she can really excel with those. But Asia 25 and 15. Chelsea Gray had 11 assists. Jackie Young had 16, 4 and 9. And then that game, Toronto was not able to best New York on Wednesday. Jonquil had 17 and 12 at the half, ended with 22 and 17. Stewie didn't have a good first half, but she ended up with 19 in the second half. Slobly off the bench. Phoebish had 14. Slobly had 12, I should say. Johannes had 15. So just a team effort from the Liberty trying to get themselves back on track. Sykes and Mabry combined for 34, but they was too little too late. Kiki Rice had one of her worst games of the season with 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And then the last of these games, we had a close one between Phoenix and Seattle, and Phoenix was able to come out on top. Natasha Mack led the way with 16 and 10, did not miss a shot in the game. Kalia Copper, 16 points. You had Alyssa Thomas, only 9, 9, and 5 in the game, but they were able to get it done. Afam was able to get going. She played 33 minutes, had 18 points and 6 rebounds. Her best game in the W. Heidemann had 15. Overall, though, this team wasn't able to get it done against the Phoenix Mercury team, but that was one of the lesser games of the whole stint. That's okay, though. It happens. You're going to have those. But these all matter for the Commissioner Cup. We're going to get into those standings here in a moment, but we're going to dive into today's matchups a little more in one game in particular. We got the Connecticut Sun versus the Chicago Sky. I think Chicago should pull this out, but Connecticut has been playing with some more energy. Anissa Morrow has been playing well. If they can get a good game from Sanaya Rivers, make it hard defensively on Sky Diggins and others on the Sky team, they could probably make this game a little bit interesting. You got Phoenix versus Portland. I think Portland probably wins this game. They've been playing with more energy, effort, and they're at home. So I think that game will be interesting to see how it goes. Obviously, you have Alyssa Thomas, you have Kalia Copper. Both of those guys can go and get going. So maybe that could happen, but I would say Portland is the favorites. They are there for a reason, and I think they should probably win that game. And then we've got Dallas and the Sparks. That's the game I'm going to dive into because I think, one, it's the best game out of all three, and two, the Vegas thinks it's going to be the closest out of all three of them. A 1.5 point spread in favor of Dallas, but the matchup predictor predicts that the Sparks are going to win this game. So really, it's a toss-up. Unfortunately, Kelsey Plum won't be playing in this game. We'll talk about that here in just a second. On the season, though, Paige has been playing extremely well, shooting a high level from the floor. She'll get that free throw up because 77.8 for her is horrendous because she is really a 90% free throw shooter, like on that level. I think she'll be able to get it up between 85 and 90-ish by the end of the season. Jessica Shepard, though, has been a godsend for this team. She was Western Conference Player of the Week. I think she's averaged 13, 14, and 7 over the last couple weeks. She's been insane. She's had 11 rebounds, 6 assists. The Erica Hamby has been playing well for the Sparks because they haven't had much of Nneka, and obviously Kelsey has missed the last 4 games, and she's going to be missing tonight's game. And then you got Awak Kawir. That name gets me every single time, and I even thought to myself before this, but she is going to be out for this game, and then Leah Rue is a game time decision. That is big because those are 2 bigs that you do have versatile who can at least guard somewhat in the paint. Lee for sure. Awaka is a little bit slight, but she can also do things on the perimeter at 6'6" too, which makes her very versatile and someone who has a high potential rate. But with the Wings not having some big depth today, it's going to be a lot on Jessica Shepard, and with the Sparks having a lot of depth at the big position, they could make things a little bit difficult for the Wings. But when you have Paige, when you have AZ, when you have Enrique, and then obviously Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard, you have the ability to go put up points, and they can get a stop every now and again. Obviously, defense is something that will come and go with this team, but when this team can buy in defensively as a unit, they can really be one of the best teams in the league if they're not already. These teams compare well. Offensively, they have been comparing very close, between 0.1 points per game. Defensively, though, the Sparks have been letting up a lot. They're shooting around the same. The Sparks are shooting a bit better. Wings are a little bit better of a rebounding team and a better assisting team. That really comes down to Jessica Shepard. So this game I am extremely, extremely excited for, because then it gets into the cup standings. They're on the western side. So whoever wins this game will get their second, or the Wings will get possibly their second win. The Sparks will get maybe their first win, and then differential matters in this game. All those things matter now because you want to be at the top, and the Wings definitely are watching the Lynx like, golly, this team doesn't look like they're going to lose. So we've got to compare to them. We've got to compete with them and go from there. So if the Wings had won a real shot at getting to the cup final, every game is going to matter because Minnesota doesn't look like they want to lose. And then when you play Minnesota, because you play everybody, when you play Minnesota, you're going to look and be like, hey, guys, we got to go get a W here. And obviously Vegas is going to be there too. And then on the Sparks side, they don't want to get out early. So this game is going to be very pivotal for them. And then on the Eastern side of things, you've got Washington, New York, Indiana. Indiana's trying to go back-to-back for the first time. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the East Coast, but the West Coast right now is the games that we're focused on tonight. And then back again, I want to give just another little round for Kelsey Mitchell. But that is Splash. That is what's been going on in the W. I want to shout out Olivia Miles again, because Olivia Miles is playing at such a high level right now that even people who are happy with AZ are looking like, gosh, should we have taken this Olivia Miles girl? And then they're going to watch AZ tonight, probably go put up 20 and be confident and then play high-level defense, and they're going to be like, nah, we're fine. And that's just showing how deep the WNBA is. The rookie pools that continue to come in are of a high level, and we're going to see Hannah Hildog, we're going to see Juju, we're going to see Leah Chavez, we're going to see Sienna Betts, we're going to see a lot of people who are high level come into the league over the next few years, and there's so many that I didn't name, Michaela Blakes and many others who are going to be coming in the next couple of years. And then there's an article on ESPN, and they pointed out, and this is very smart, the international game is only going to help take this league up and up and up. Obviously, we know a lot of these players used to go over, Sue Bird, Candace, and all the Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey, all of them have talked about how they've gone overseas to get a lot more money because they're able to get more money there. Now that the finances are able to compare and even exceed in some senses what the overseas is doing, now overseas players are like, wait, let me go to the W. I can get more publicity. I can be in a better arena. I can get more amenities and things of that nature. Plus, I can make the same, if not more, money. Yeah, why wouldn't I go overseas and do that? And then I can still come back and play in leagues when I'm back there too. So you're only going to get an influx of that. We've seen it in the NBA, obviously. The last 8 MVPs have all been international, whether it's Jokic, whether it's Giannis, whether it's Shea, whether it's Embiid. So your top 5 players in the league right now, if you want to say it's Shea, Wemby, no order, Shea, Wemby, Jokic, Giannis, and Luka, they're all international guys. So the international game only adds a lot to this game, and you're seeing it even with some international coaches coming over. They play in the the international players, they play well, they play hard, they play smart, and they play free. You see how Maureen Johannes plays. She plays free. She plays fun. I think it could add an extra oomph and an extra kind of, I'm going to say je ne sais quoi to the league. But overall, this has been Splash, guys. If you have gotten, again, to this point at the end of the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get and that notification bell so you know every time that we do upload here. Hit the like button as well. Appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be seeing you guys again very soon.